mu na yakobisa me sesika me de koye den ma load ni nyina egu me Lolly Cash account ni mu.
That's right.
Enti se me ba bedi dwuma bia wo hanoma me tua free mu straight.
Hey, baby a Lolly Cash app ne dru no.
Na chere say wo dollars no egu wallet mu. Enso wo twade wa Ghana hanum a ensese Mercedes.
Sa pepepe. Ti se me kwa brochira me sika ni nyina no me load gu me Lolly Cash account no so. Abrochira baby a me wo bia no. Ade bia me pe bia me timi to. Na app no a convert sika no akọ country ni sika no so. Na me de di me dwuma.
Inti America, Canada, and Europe countries na Lolly Cash app no so no. Sa
app nanga sabe convert akọ say American dollar, say Canadian dollar, say India for sika ebia app no convert mami. Enti transaction is simple kra.
Lolly Cash app no eye guy pa. Account na edisika no etemu sa no entetew.
Debi Lolly Cash account dey. Ye ntew say dey ebi no ye no. Ulo dia tumu a bibia ni mu no ne bibi kakra. Mi bewie no ma send bia ba momu. Na me dia kontanso bia akọ na account mu ama no.
Thank you.
Account hold my ink in ko. Enti obia and download the Lolly Cash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store. Number start and send sika and mama busha for mo na for no e wa mo no ne bia Lolly Cash
24/7 send sika. Abna good news we abo.
Enu nti wonye ntu kwan na na.
She enu kra na ebe ma kwantu no aye simple kra.
Sa
Ani unim na me hwehwe app bia ebetumi amama send you sika straight into wallet. Abra even umomo wallet ne krampo enya adwuma.
okay.
Na sounds ye fast. Na eye available ewe nkro bi te se Canada, India, UK and Ghana hampo. Unim se de be ya metumi asend you sika semtu kwan na.
Na me ameni account or bank bi eye. Me momo no so nya adwuma o.
Hwe sister, dia konta e pa kire nyina ne say with Lolly Cash app no say wo momo ana wo bank account say wo ni bie emu bia mpo no wo betumi asend sika asa receive sika from Ghana ha to amonone simple.
Lolly Cash
Ane Lolly Cash is secure and convenient. Ewa QR code etutumi use e de send sika abra ehu hia say afna be ka will be phone numbers any bank account number bia utumi so e send sika from Lolly Cash account e de call bank account bia mu e wo bia safna be bia.
Akonta udi fuda se pa. One man say na simple kra ma me.
Master dia de no.
Ampa
Enti obia and download the Lolly Cash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store. Number start and send sika and mama busha for mo na for no e wa mo no ne ba bia.
na mo spell mami
LOLLICASH.
Lolly Cash
24/7 send sika.
Akuntanio ko hey boga one na start for bag kuntabia ma anwari de shobo to mu
Me di sika ni nyina egu Lolly Cash account no so.
oh ye jude
Me be spread mo mamu zero. Me be anya afa na me ha me $100 bebre egu me bag mu na yakobisa me sesika me de koye den ma load ni nyina egu me Lolly Cash account ni mu.
That's right.
Enti se me ba bedi dwuma bia wo hanoma me tua free mu straight.
Hey, baby a Lolly Cash app ne dru no.
na chere say wo dollars no egu wallet mu enso wo twade wa Ghana hanum a ensese Mercedes.
Sa pepepe. Ti se me kwa brochira me sika ni nyina no me load gu me Lolly Cash account no so. Abrochira baby a me wo bia no ade bia me pe bia me timi to. Na app no a convert sika no akọ country ni sika no so. Na me de di me dwuma.
Inti America, Canada, and Europe countries na Lolly Cash app no so no. Sa
app nanga sabe convert akọ say American dollar, say Canadian dollar, say India for sika ebia app no convert mami. Enti transaction is simple kra.
Lolly Cash app no eye guy pa. Account na edisika no etemu sa no entetew.
Debi Lolly Cash account dey. Ye ntew say dey ebi no mo ye no. Ulo dia tumu a bibia ni mu no ne ati bibi kakra. Mi bewie no ma send bia ba momu. Na me dia kontanso dia akọ na account mu ama no.
Thank you.
Account hold my ink in ko. Enti obia and download the Lolly Cash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store. Number start and send sika and mama busha for mo na for no e wa mo no ne ba bia Lolly Cash
24/7 send sika.
All right. I was here for energy say yenemo connect and Jumadia ye ba bedi anase ye ba bedi nkomo afa hwem. Be series of conversation and discussions FIN as human and as nipa yɛnim deɛ ɛfa biribi ho, kwan a yɛbɛfa so atumi share knowledge, ɛkwan a yɛbɛfa so atumi asua biribi, especially sɛ yɛnya kwan tu kwan ba obi man so, anaasɛ yɛn akora yɛte yɛ kurom a ɛkwan a yɛfa so ɛtumi ɛdi yie wɔ nneɛma bebree ho. Mpɛn bebree no ɛyɛ ana we forget say as humans, we have an opportunity to grow, and most of the growth do not normally come from the fact say Yahweh and Keke. It comes from sharing information with people. It comes from acquiring new information as well, and it comes from connections that you build. Into Jumadi Yatunidin, your knowledge, your power, and then your growth and your success. Because at the end of the day, if you acquire knowledge, it will give you the capability to have some sort of power, because knowledge itself equips you to be more powerful. And when you become more powerful, you get the opportunity to grow as a human being. So it will be a series of discussions about about education and career, about entrepreneurship, about even religious beliefs, right? Things about what we think can help us grow. And I invite you to join this program. We'll do our best to roll it out very often in the week, and also make sure say if we have any special people that we can invite on, we invite them on as well. But don't forget, say this program is purely sponsored by Lollycash. As of today, the Lollycash rate to $1 is 15.50 in regards to Ghana cedis. Download the Lollycash app now, and don't forget, say you can use the app locally, Chrome, US, Canada, and also you can use the app internationally to send money as well. As we progress, we will talk about what Lollycash can also help offer. So let's dive into it. Let's look at something. Most of the time when we travel and come to different places, it will be mine. So either America, and UK, Canada, India, Afghanistan, anywhere we will find ourselves. Our focus is on how we can be able to make money quick. And I say, people normally will be telling you, oh, and I create humble say, me ba within 3 months, 6 months, me ska be sit down, me ska ababe tofie, me ska boa busunya, which is good, because you have to have some sort of goal, ambition, and things like that to be able to make you successful. But there are some things that is very important that we have to remember. And Obi Amanya experience most of the things that I will be sharing with you is going to come from personal experience, things I've learned from people, things I've read from people, things I have also acquired throughout the experience. And babies I say, now Okra would Jumadi Honchiame, meeting Dr. Report. Most of the time, just you can call me Eric, that is fine. And my knowledge is into multiple things, into technology, into entrepreneurship, into career growth, and also into personal growth as well. So let's think about one thing. When you come to, or when you are coming to America, and I will be mindful, the amount to me no be say the kind nipa a wobɛsoɛ no, ana environment kora obeba be esue, where you come in your destined place, like nipa kora obeba be sue no, ana as environment na obeba be tenamo. Okay, some of us, we find ourselves staying with our family members and I am for and things like that. And I'm saying environment now, you are not having that much experience in that particular country. You tend to be doing what nipa na waba abɛsua no no ɔyɛ. For example, most of us ebi ɛbɛsua yɛ abusuafo a ɔmo yɛ into health related opportunities and as a jobs a obehu sɛ ɛnam sɛ saa adwuma no na nipa no yɛ no nti no, the probability of you and as a saa environment na wa finding yourself no, most of the people the adwuma ɔmo yɛ no is regards to that particular yɛmfa no health related nti no, you will be compelled to also get into that field. And as you will be compelled to pursue that same career. Okay, which is not bad because unim ehonom environment no baby what to kwan ba bedru no and as baby ba bedru no unim ho inteno you are being focusing on nipa no ni advice and also ni pep talks or some suggestions or the bema. But one thing that we have forgotten and say the fact is nipa wa ba beso no oye ebia emfa no say home health no and as oye IT no and as oye even to something different no, that doesn't mean you should do the same thing. And you know, for you to be successful in your growth, no, career wise or personal growth, no, most of the time you are being influenced by the person you came to visit and as you came to stay with or you came to how do I say it? What do you call it? Bond with. Nti nipa obeba abesua no have a great impact in your life. So obana nipa na brabo no eye hatu eye all over the place. Most of the time you may find yourself doing the same thing. And as you will find yourself being into that category. Now, se nyame amwa and I say want to me ankenya wo ho amfiri sa anamontuo ni mu a, you might end up finding yourself in a whole lot of problem. No botaya o de baye can be disarray. The entire it's utrimu o de ba baby a baye no can be impacted. So when we talk about your growth starts from the origin, baby corona oh yeah then obaye and obedru ya no, how you have been impacted by the person na oneno enam no and I say oneno obesu no. The second thing is the connections you build, right? When you go to a place, nipa obefano namfofo can either waste your time or can help you build yourself. And we are going to dive into these things in detail. Because, for example, there are people who do not understand, say, time is not like PTO. Time is not like something that you can get back. People think say, oh, my dad, sorry, and me too, my namo and a mayor, the mayor no should be enough. But if you waste a minute of your time, you can't get it back. The reason being that each and every time, Biano, time is progressing. And as humans, you know, what we have to do is to plan towards time. You cannot control time. And it's in your personal growth, you know, things that are going to impact you is the connections you make. And na omono ene wo etu anamon anankrofo a oni wo etu anamon oni wo tena phone so oni wo ye communication and ye discussions and all those people are going to impact your life in many ways. And aside nipa aba besuya no ebia nipa aba besuya no is impacting you positively. Ebia or encourage you and as or boa ama what to me ayeden anya some growth. But nkrofo a adwuma mu onu omo afa namfo nkrofo a you pick up your phone and speak to them often no can either influence you positively or negatively. So look at it from this angle. How much time do you spend with people that are of waste? What you say? Emre dodo ahen anase time ahen and I will dedicate it to some people and some conversation. Obi o to me tena phone so or tena WhatsApp so eka nsema we are seeing on beka. But at the end of the day, no, Ubusane say, when in no, what did you get? What was the results of that conversation? No? Impact ben, enyini ben, growth ben anamotuo ben na saa conversation no di amawa ben say zero. Eti no at the same time no saa nipa no anka saa time no di etu saa anamo no, you could have used it to invest into something else, invest into one personal growth. Eti no, the people you connect yourself with no, are having a tremendous impact on your life or in your life. It's, that's the second thing. And the third thing is what you decide to pick up. How do I say? At the end of you are dedicating yourself to learn. So your growth is not based on an engineer being wo abrabomuno and I say a niema obeye wa abrabomuno to be able to grow and be successful. No, it's not about only the connections and a nipa obeba besu and seni ye can beginning. Woman, what are you picking? Edi ade ena wo fa. Edi ade ena wo why you say you want to use either your skills or your knowledge or any capabilities that you have to pick up. Those are another thing that we have to, because obi wa mre won nsem, as in okọ adwuma ba akomba mre bebre won ho nti oba ya na oba betina kunwam na chese or relax it, which is good. Sometimes you need to have some rest, but at that same time now akwenya na ba beda ho, you could have used it to add more resources to yourself. It could be say you could have used it to learn something new. It could have been that to read something. It could have been that to connect and reach out to some people to acquire some skills or some knowledge. Unfortunately, no. Sani panobe debate na kunyama TV. Enti busa ho say most of the time we ask ourselves Christmas bedrua and a New Year's and then eba bedrua it's about New Year's resolution. I feel 2020 say the I plan on doing this, I plan on doing that, which is great. But how are you calculating, planning, and dedicating yourself for whatever you told yourself? Okay, dia okachire on January 2024 and I'm one. Bisa ho say dia okachire on say obeye in 2024 and no and a why and I say at the end of the day no still akwakoye bibia. It's aside people you will meet, aside things that the what do you call it, environment you find yourself or household that ubeba besuana say you find yourself no. Woman, as human, what are you dedicating your time for? Okay. Sometimes some of us dedicate our time maybe reading stuff, which is good. After reading, what else do you do towards it? Because growth deals with constant repetition of things and applying those things in reality. And it's okay, can be usunya bibi obi kan asem bi kire wo ana bibi sa na se wan ye no constantly ya enyini emmam na wo ye no constantly no so no wan ye den wan implement it and wan fan to anamo ana say wan make actions towards it, you don't also get growth through it. So the reason why most of us or some of us are not being successful in things we do is because to me how we are going to calculate time for it, plan for it, and on top of that, no, we have not also paid attention to what happens when we dedicate those times and plans for. Because sometimes reading is good, writing an exam is good, but what do you do after writing the exam? What do you do after planning towards adding? What do you do? Or me person me business be? What do one work? What do you do towards it? So then we end up not being able to grow in that area. The fourth thing, or probably the fifth thing, is listening to people who do not understand failure. Ati ase. Sometimes yɛtietie nkurɔfoɔ a ɔmo kora ɔmo nte yɛka ne sɛn ade yɛfrɛ no failure ase. People think if you fail, that means you are not very good at that thing. No. To me, failure is when you don't even start. Failure, so because obi ayɛ biribi failure, and then say you did not even start at all. That means that adekodeɛ na ɛwɔ tirim, ɛwɔ w'adwene mu, waka ho asɛm, onu obi adi ho nkɔmmɔ no. Moment I want starting, no, that is the moment you failed. But so started, na say due to some constraints, due to some restrictions, due to some potential issues, we want to me and room so a person would do now. That is not failure. Because BBB has to go through process. Yemu bebre gold rings, and all those things. Those who can gold in its raw nature now, I don't think Sabia will be who cry or new cry angel. But gold goes through a lot of process to be that beautiful thing. That is how growth is. It's if you mingle yourself with the humble bunk of what or what they talk about, like retrogressive things. Oh, I do it. No, now we grew up with the Sika woman it involves a lot of money. I don't think so was Sika enough to be able to do this. They are always talking about the impossibilities. No? Those type of people, if you associate yourself with, and we have not grown because dedicated and they are always talking about retrogression. Hey, now the way they sika ben na de be. Oh, I do way na minim hu nim de bia. Oh, I do way de ye ne sen we de so omo a omo wo hu nim de mo no na umbetumi ay successful in it. That moment you have already killed what you wanted to do. That moment you have already failed because you couldn't start. But obibi biara oye bibi na what dedicating mre edia ye na sempempens will be kran wakwakoye dru no ontumi wie de person wunyana. That person has not failed. That person is still in progress of being able to reach the goal and the vision and then the success that they want to build in. It's for you to grow, measure the people you speak with. Measure the people you dedicate time to connect with, and also measure the people you spend much time speaking with. I'm not saying you shouldn't be friendly. Okay, you have to be friendly because nipa here nipa, but it wouldn't work much for you to dedicate your time with people who do not value time. What you say? You have to understand, say, nipa ya da bia me friend na me ne no bonkomwe. Ensem ben na se me kan bibi kira ne se me pese me ye bibi se kura ne response at the same. Those are the questions you should ask yourself. Because here is the case, sometimes I didn't walk on the path. The about with 3 more pesa way no. Enyini na opesa wunyini no. Yakade say push our person or push you from the current situation you are in to another level now or person Nipano cannot get there. The person is not able to reach that position or that level. And to catch now, what he or she is going to do is try to give you some words of discouragement. What I said, they will try to give you some information that will make it so difficult. For example, wabaha nipa obeso no ebia he is into education or chirade or high school, and he is into home health work. enti okachira wo say okay ye bi why ye bi why ye drum pempenso bi and you will be asking yourself say I will say me nyini a free pempenso am want to another level, right? So you spoke to the person. Okay, so I would like to pursue some higher education, and as I would like to get some more skills, and as some more knowledge to push myself because maybe I'm in person meet this current opportunity and a job here me wo me. Ti asema ni pano beka ichiro. That helps determine the caliber of person and their impact in your life. From the angle, say nipa no can be kyerɛ so oh it's a good idea I think say yɛni say me nim ho bebia that much but me suggestion am de ma wo any adewe ni adewe a ebia nipa no e wa adwempa to push but sɛ nipa no kyerɛ say ka kyerɛ wo with excuses as in hey adewe de na wo betumi ayɛ nie ye kura e ba krom ha mre dodo yi yɛntumi nyɛ bibi saa it will take a while ebeche madam for be crap the any dear taking all those things that they are giving to you, the person is in a process of discouraging you, not allowing you to push to that potential. So growth, which is a you are being impacted by so many things around, and therefore whatever people will be telling you have significant impact in how you are going to grow. So your measure of growth is determined by all these factors. Nipa one no be sign. Nipa o de phone be friend each and every time. Nipa obekwa akosue no ana fikura obekwa akosue mu. Ena environment kro na uwo mu no. Then the last part no ye say uwo mu no de opese oye edema ho. So now the big question is, if you are surrounded with all this impact, how do you progress from that angle? How do you go beyond that? Because irrespective of it, all these things are going to come your way. Number one, what you have to do, growth has to come with determination. Yemu bebre, ye niema ye ni nyina akwa kasa. Obi wa ade bi beba ne tirim. There was a friend that meneno di nkomo. Asem o kan say medwin Uber type of business no ho ansa Uber kura eba. And I'm getting say one two one more. So you have to have some sort of determination with your own growth, being it career growth, being it personal growth, being it whatever growth you want to do. You have to have some sort of determination. I was a woman, no, Osha Honde, ehum yakade say, DNT or peso to sana mon. And within your determination, you have a plan for it. Okay, whichever growth that you want to go into or you want to pursue for your life, I was a winya plan for whatever you are going to do. Most of the time, you have to do some research and development process. You have to do some sort of things that you have to look up to. You have to learn some things. You have to find out if you want to open some business, if you want to have a new career growth. Let's say you want to go into the field of technology or medical field to be either a nurse or a physician assistant or medical doctor or IT person or whichever it is. You have to have that determination. Say, a pastor said then, no matter how difficult it is, you are going to be able to succeed in it. But on top of that, you have to have a plan. Adia Emma Yang a baby for an agana for no most of the time, and yes, successful, no say, ye move brain, ye ni plan. Ye di are not a baby. Ubehu typical Ghanaian, and I say Ubehu Ghana for bebre. You see a lot of us, Debia Dano, ye bibi no. Oh, I do way, maybe, not in Anwaka. And I'm a first question say January. Edi asem na wo ka kire wo. Wo ka kire wo so be way. And it was July or Chinachi just in less than 4 days and as a 5 days. Not July. Actually. So ask yourself, say, whatever you told yourself, no, the old country at that time, no. About these 7 months out of 12 months, no. What me to one among? To mean two and among because number one, you did not dedicate to it. And number two, you didn't have a plan. What they were no can keke. And anything that is not a plan based do not succeed. O kwa ko ye afu. Osu afu we dey medo 3 acres, medo 2 acres, may way. But you haven't even planned on asase krona o kwa akotono. You haven't even planned on niaba, like the type of things you are going to plant. What you say? You have not even calculated, say, me enkodo afuo no this time because this time no me do a metumi anya nsuo amanato ama nuaba no anyini because we don't have plans you know. Am I bibia ba beka etinim as Ghanaians? I will limit it to Ghana for most of the time. Yet the no cancer. We speak on phones, we spend much time on phones and you can say WhatsApp. To me, I can't say man. Nanso sem no bebre beka no. Yentumi kura anya ehun hwe. To me nya plans be say 10, 12 months no beko na wie no. Not 10 no kura yentumi planning towards any of them. So for you to succeed in your career, your personal growth, anything you have to do, no, what do I no can have a plan for it? Because I think in our next discussions, you know, we'll be talking about how nature and our brain impact what we say and then what we think. Into your not focusing on your own growth. Now, anytime I obey dream, you are giving your body a responsibility and a task to push you to it. Until the moment I obey dream, who say, oh, I do with me person me, no. In reality, no, what happens and I say, your body is ready to push you for it. Until who as human being, and for you to be able to accelerate in the corona about you have to have a plan towards it. Sadly, way say school and as a career program, send a can first now. Oh, program way Nihefa Kran I'm interested in. There are some people who always say I want to do IT stuff. And then oh, me person me IT. IT is like a DNA. Technology is like food. And I want to do healthcare related career. Okay, this is good. But it's like what I say, me person me dear DNA. A DNA krobe na opese udi. What you say? What type of career do you want to pursue? It is also person call IT more. IT no area ben na one hu, and I say IT no segment ben na one hu a man year of will become. If you want to go into healthcare area ben na one hu a year of and I say a man wanije say opese pursue. Most of the time, no, and I'm saying any plant, you know, we get clinched into osika hina menya every. But this is the reality. If you don't have a plan, you always chase for money. But if you have a plan and you work towards it, eventually, no, sa adena will work it towards, no, will help you generate the income and the money that you are looking for. It's, you know, we always like to do it in reverse. You're more double, you're more triple, you're more way intent to make money. But you're referee say, if you do not have a plan towards it, you may be our baby. And you keep on talking and you keep on having questions and you keep on speaking a whole lot of stuff because you have not really planned on anything. And for you to be successful in your career, in your personal growth, in anything, you have to have a plan. And then every plan will have to have a subsequent, plan, right? It is a winner year. sɛ me se me kɔ akɔyɛ ebi a engineering wɔ technology field na sɛ saa engineering no ɔma mfa me a, this is my plan B or my plan C. You have to have that redundancy in your plans. Say, if this falls short, I'm coming this way. If this goes good, I'm going that way. We have to have that before you can see growth in your in your career or whatever area that you want to pursue. And the plan is one, and then yedika can dedication and what's after you have a plan and you have a dedication, you start thinking about resources that will get you in executing that particular plan. What you say? It is a school now, person ukwa. It's your one who say, oh, registered nurse area na manager, and I say, you can say technology and education and supply chain logistics in Yemen na manager, and business way me person me a truck driver. Na me am person me only me truck, and I say, oh, me am person me be me e-commerce or any type of Airbnb business. Okay, why are ready to avail yourself for it? When have a plan in place, now you have to think about the resources that you will need to pursue that particular plan. That falls into the implementation phase. Now, sab mreno and I say one way abambudi ni na ebeba. Because sometimes we like to think so deep about the long term, forgetting about the baby steps. It's no hard. One who actually send you actually citizen. What they actually esi ho, right? What they actually a dime. Now person ofrowa. What do? The space in between actually no ni layers ni nyina na ehihye ma ube gina so no. On say omayan very very short. What you say? In between each layer biano, a very short steps. I say baby steps are akwara betumi ayeden afrobi. Why do people do that? Because they believe say the shorter or the simpler the inputs, the easier for you to work towards it. But when you stress so much in your input now, it becomes difficult for you to attain that particular resource. For example, upese will be a bakery and I say a juma utumi yeden a bakery type of cooking and all those type of businesses. You all of a sudden upese unya a very big warehouse machines womb. No, that is not a good plan. And that will not help grow that particular career. You know why? Untumi kranye ebia ehu fla no dodo ana esam no dodo a obehia. Untumi kran calculating hu say ade we ya me pese me ye. It will require these resources. Unye kran obi kran tasty bida. Ehu se be da na enye de. But you want an actual warehouse or you want a big building with stuff in it. So those things, resources now obehia no. Sometimes you overcalculate it and you end up not being able to pursue that goal. And that's why most people fail. Because if you pick 10 people, everybody have an idea. But to execute that idea, no, out of that 10 people, you may get one person or at most two people who are able to go through the initial phase and planning phase to even get to implementation phase. Being that, we overthink whatever we want to pursue. It's so per se we business and as per se we school. Instead of thinking about na sika ben na me debate you school fees na say for na say wo America have, think about okay, this course na me person be here. What are the prerequisite materials I me here? A bit me amamadru. Because there are probabilities in as much as says tuition no important, there are probabilities you may qualify for some educational benefit. There are probabilities business now all doing say unhia sika kesi answer what me ahye no. Ebia o hye ketua bia some POC and as a proof of concept and as a proof of value obi hu ya they could have supported you. So you don't need big resources to start a growth. It is a wahwe a nature and baby. We don't really pay much attention to it. What nature does and then say nature may as who say before say obey a penny do 20 years or my way abofra, and you go through a baby steps of implementation. Usunya seni esi yeden enante usunya seni esi etna simple. Na wasunya seni esi wia. Na wasunya seni esi jina ho. Na wasunya seni esi. So all those implementation phases is to build you to be that strong person that obey your opinion. That is how growth is. It's in your resource process, all the resources and things that you are going to have as an input, you take them bit by bit. You take them in a very reasonable quantity. It is ABR using the bakery again, business now per you want to get a small flour, get a small input to mix to see now why you be the amount one done for more artistic. Oh, I did you good. Then you do another small size beam, not the actually different other people who are not necessarily your friends that will give you a good feedback. And from there, you'll be able to grow a little bit. Now you have already optimized what you wanted to do. And the last other point I'll share with you after this our break, decision around what your end goal and then your short goal is. But in the meantime, this quick break. Na to us.
Akuntanyo ko. Hey, boga one. Na it's time for bag kuntabiama. And what the shop to me?
Me disikani nyina egu Lollycash account no so.
Oh, you do it.
Me be spread mo mamusro. Me be anya fe na me ha me $100 bebre egu me bag mu na yakobisa me sesika me de koye den ma load ni nyina egu me Lollycash account ni mu.
That's right.
Enti se me ba be di dwuma bia wo hanom a me tua free mu straight.
Hey, baby, a Lollycash app nedru no.
They just say what dollars no egu wallet mu. Enso otwa de wa Ghana hanom a ense se be cedis.
Sa pepepe. Si se me kwa abrochira me sika ni nyina no me load gu me Lollycash account no so. Abrochira baby a me wo bia no. Ade bia me pe bia me timi to. Na app no a convert sika no akọ country ni sika no so. Na me de adu medwuma.
Inti America, Canada, and Europe countries na Lollycash app no so no. Sa app na ngasa be convert akọ say American dollar, say Canadian dollar, say India for sika e bia app no convert mami. Enti transaction is simple kra.
Lollycash app no guy pa. Account na edisika no etemusa no entetew.
Debi Lollycash account there. Ye ntew say de ebi no mo ye no. Ulo di atumu a bibia animu no ne ati bibi kakra. Mi be wie no ma sendi bia ba mo mu. Na me de akontan so bia akon account mu ama no.
Thank you.
Account hold my ink in ko. Eti obia and download the Lollycash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store. Number start and send sika and mama busha for mo na fonom e wa mo no ne bia Lollycash
24/7 send sika. Abna good news we abo.
Enu nti wunye ntu kwan na na.
She enu kra na ebe ma kontu no aye simple kra.
Sa
Ani unim na me hwehwe app bi a ebetumi amama send you sika straight into wallet. Abra even wo momo wallet ne krampo anya adwuma.
okay.
Na sounds ye fast. Na eye available e we nkro bi te se Canada, India, UK and Ghana hampo. Unim se de be ya metumi asend you sika semtu kwan na.
Na me ameni account for bank bi eye. Me momo no so nya adwuma o.
Hwe sister, dia konta e pa kire nyina ne say with Lollycash app no say wo momo ana wo bank account say wo ndi bie emu bia mpo no wo betumi asend sika asa receive sika from Ghana ha to amonone simple.
Lollycash
Ane Lollycash a secure and convenient. Our QR code it will use at the send sika abra ehun hia say afna beka aka obi phone numbers any bank account number bia which means so send sika from Lollycash account at the bank account bia mu e wo bia safna bia.
Akonta udi fuda se pa. One man say na simple kra ma me.
Master dia de no.
Ampa.
Eti obia and download the Lollycash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store. Number start and send sika and mama busha for mo na fonom e wa monone bia.
na mo spell mami
Lollycash.
Lollycash
24/7 send sika.
Yo, abusiafo, mama kwa baby. Program we Lollycash and ɛsɔ aseɛ anaasɛ ɛkita yɛ mu. Obi bɛbisa sɛ Lollycash yɛde sende kɔ mobile money nko ana dabi. Lollycash no ɛyɛ wallet platform. It's no sɛneɛ ɛna ɛsan so wɔ artificial intelligence built behind it. And sending money, you send it across all the platforms and all the channels. Also able to me at the Lollycash, I send this cow chrome and America ha. It is send ye move brain, you send it domestic transaction, MI honey hono, ewo chrome hano, and international one. You can do the same thing with Lollycash. Now scan or wallet no more, you are rest assured with your security. And at the amount Lollycash cry a dance more is the opportunity to receive money in reverse manner. And the AI understands say Hana currency near different now. It should be able to give you the capability to receive it from a different way. You better Lollycash for us. Now, and a juma dear no ye to us kakra answer ye de aba awie. One thing that we have to understand is enye obia na we share wo career goals and aspirations with. Okay. If you want to grow, another thing to help you to grow, aside having your plans and all those things in place, one of your implementation process is to learn how to keep quiet. What you say? Because enyini ewo homa nipa bia. Everybody have the capability to grow, to be successful. Nature has made it in such a way that it doesn't matter who you are, you have the capability to grow and be successful. But the important question is this: not everybody is willing to hear you out about your growth. Dear person and you'll be an eye ready, eye crowd, eye willing to give you that same support that you need. Whatever you want to pursue, the person who ye wo abra bombia, the person who ye wo wasitena mubia, the person who wo busunya ye wo person who kunu yere obi bibia. Learn how to keep quiet, because say uhwemu na de ye mfanto ho with things that is around us. Hwesene ye nua maanom ana ye yerenom ana se ye busuafo emma no efa so ewo nature nyansam no oma ye hu nipa kro ana abofra no kro a wo no okra no wo ye nua maanom omuyam saa for some time before say emre no beso ama ya eden ya wo abofra no. Sana wunyini your growth in life no sana etie eti bibi bia wo pesa wo ye bia no. Learn how to keep quiet. Learn how to be very independent and very selfish about your growth. Samu your group na mo pesa mu ye bibi bomu a. Learn how to keep quiet within your group. And your bibi biara no pesa wo hu deɛ wo waka wo wutiri mu sɛ wo pesa wo yɛ no ɛyɛ obi biara no why ready to listen to that, because abrabo mu akontuo na yɛ nyina yɛ wɔ mu no yɛ nyina yɛ hwɛ similar things. One thing that we haven't realized no as sitting mu ni wiase yɛ wɔ mu nyina we are all looking for the same similar stuff. Okay, wo a wo hwɛ me, wo a wo tie me, wo a meno kasa yenyina yepe long life yepe se yetena sase so che yempe se obi abeha ya adwen yenyina no yepe babia eye kama yede yetiri beto a emfa ne se edan e betinam yenyina no yepe sika a yebetumi ayeden yede ato ye ho na se yare eboyen a yetumi anya bi ede yatua ana se yade ahwe ho yare ana ekom de anya bi e de atoduane adi yenyina no so no yepese yenya den or the opportunity to get good education. Your education, you also pay the opportunity to get a good job or pursue a new business of our own or a new entrepreneurship skill set or anything. And on top of that, ye pese ye kwa nkrofo hu se oh yes ye nso no ye wo ho. Sa niema we nyina no eye nipa abrabo mu ade a ewo ho. Eti obi apɛ similar thing. Obi apɛ se nipa no pese o ware a obi apɛ kunu pa ana oyere pa a opese one ne tena for long. Se aware no nya ba mu wi a na se omo pese obi biara pese we ye den owo a obi apɛ se onya bofra anaso tumi nyinsen ewo. We are all looking for almost similar things in this world. It is a nyame ya adom na se bibisa ba wutirim. And now we have the skill set and the capabilities to be able to what? Pursue any career advancement or growth. Learn how to keep quiet. Learn how to be quiet about your goals. Learn how to be quiet about idea obotaye woniswade hu. Into most of the time, ayana me hu krofo saying so maniswade hu say na or can in public sana. Aka bibibia bonibia enihu. Nanso the caliber of people we are dealing with, the caliber of people that we call friends, the caliber of people that we are being surrounded with. Obi o okra o free baby aba beso no na one no ti wo abrochire hanom no. O progress no ono aba betena ha 15 20 10 years no ontumi nya sa enyini no bi. Etiru ko ko kachire nse sa di we na me pese me ye o ana se sa di we na me pese me babi eye ana bibi sa na unya kachire na aba benya otan bi ama automatically because now you no watena have for some time and I say we belonging in that particular place for some time ono kran to me achieve there o pese we ya. So nature is so interesting say if you keep your things to yourself sometimes you succeed. And do not forget, anything that comes out of your mouth, you can't take it back. Inti minimu kasay semano kopa na meka sembia. At the end of the day, I cannot reverse it. Even though I can apologize for it, but I can't reverse it. But wo mitirimu a obia enim de wo mitirim. Inti ye na ye Christians and I Bible ni Nyankopon semedi no. Almost say, and a Bible in some grammar etias yes, or Bakwasiakra cananu tumwa, ye bunuso yansani. Okay, so your career's growth depends on how long you want to keep your mouth shut. Some people that are my friends, Ebi Becca say, na lolly cash for more technology no crampo no. Obi ante won ye hu ya na aba. Yes. Now, but not because of friends, no negative intention or anything. But bibi a uye biano. Ye we answer what boni pa manie. Your research, your planning, your way, your dedication. Put yourself into it before you let people know. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the will pursue obi pursue similar thing want to me and no some pempens word. What I say? It is a edidawano na woka. Obi kwati ana nipa no kwati nipa wo feel say oye wadamfo no ekwati a. Ahwa nsem bi kro be kan kire wo no ebebu abam in such a way say untumi ntua de opese otoa so no bi. So for you to be successful in whatever you are doing, you have to learn how to keep mute. You have to learn how to be quiet. Nsem no bi wo wa twan na ade no happiness. Uwa kwa ye interview ni ye fa adwuma no ma ho. Na so ba ya no enam say interview no ko yi enti no edida wa no say o adwuma we de menya. De ote wo nchen no pa adwuma no bi. De ote wo nchen no ho no no. Munyina na mo pre adwuma no, munyina na mo apply o Indeed. Munyina na you were somewhere looking for the job. When you're lucky am o ma frɛ o say bra interview. Wakoye interview na wi aba no. Wonu momu no now edida wa no o adwuma we de menya. Interview na easy kura. Sani pan wuni ma adwenkura wo ma ho. Eti no, just keep things to yourself for your own personal growth. Sometimes be deliberate and selfish for your own self. It's not a bad thing to be selfish. Because if you think about it very well, omo di ye wo wiase no. Enye say eya omo te omo ho kotena baabi, they don't want to mingle with people in the neighborhood. No. Sometimes separation and getting things by yourself, like personally, dedicating things to keep things to yourself, it gives you growth. A lot of time, chaos and so much input from different people can let you forget about what you want to pursue. And to be a dawa niso our person way, instead of say obi okra de ne ba ne tirima onye ye no na edida no yemu bebre, we are victim of that. Na edawa no unim nipa kura no nso etie di obetie no ebi kura no wo resources chain. Memfa ne so person obi business bi e wo Ghana ana ha usika sam enye kese bia edida wa no enam say edida wa no nti no obi fufuru a ebi owo connection with other people omo wo sika am betumi aye ote wo idea na ntentema enam say owo resources any planning process mentem eche wo nti no be hu anu akwakoye. So for you to grow, learn how to be quiet sometimes. Learn how to keep things to yourself sometimes. Sometimes, it's not a selfish thing. That is a good way to help you to be successful in your life. For your growth in life, once you have dedicated yourself that that's what you want to do, you are focused on it, you are planning what you share near you can't plan for everything, which is wrong. You cannot control time, but you can plan towards time. Every successful person in this world have a plan for time. I cannot control the 8 p.m. No, I can't even control the seconds of 8 this time. But what I can do is I can plan towards. So see, about 7:04, about 7:30, I'm a person away. That I have the autonomy to do that. Instead of we talking about and having so much excuses and things like that, it is very important for us to understand, say, time is not something you can get back. If you lose time, you cannot get it back. And therefore, you can plan towards, have a plan for your time. That you have prepared yourself, you have dedicated yourself, you have all those things put in place, and then you are controlling what you tell to people. Learn to have some, learn to have people who welcome some negativity in your life too. Most of the time, we want to have more friends. But instead of building more friends, try to build enemies. Mechanics are people would think that guy we are the same no. Too many friends is a problem. Having so many friends is a problem. That is why most successful people have peculiar group of people that they speak to, they mingle with, and that's it. What you say? Emra wo niema ye successful, what plan wo niema get successful, no. Once you are in that process, learn to have more enemies. Let me tell you this. Enemies in life are not bad people. Enemies happen to be the GPS of life. The direction of life are enemies. So people who have more enemies, they are very careful. But people with more friends, they have a problem. So learn to have enemies. If possible, but money to the extent yeah, because sometimes adibia na muntu bia na senior wusi ebo homodin bi no etumi ma obi cry town keke. Do those things because this is how enemies are. Now, you can say friends are. Friends are like wako kwaye, uko kwaye mua. Senye nwura ni nyina tie gu form ho. Ube feel say form ho nyina ye flat no. Sana na mfofo tie. Okay? Na mfofo tie say wako kwaye bi ase, ana wako nwura bi mu, ana wako baabi na nnua bebre wo ho. Nnua ni nyina no ewo omo leaves no atie gu, ana even in America hanom krampo no. Say yeba bedi Christmas and nnua ni nyina egu form sa you can say leaves ni nyina gu form no. That's how friends are. Friends tend to be like the leaves. But this is what it is. For you to know the actual you can say friends no, mansuo to. Insuo to a obe se sa enwura ni nyina ebe scatter. E wonom na obe se say hanom kra na ye flat no, na amana da ha, na eha ebon bi da ha. Na ha say you can say nnua ni hini bi kra e da ha. Those are things that you have to think about. And you know, if you want to be successful in life, have more enemies. And don't think about having more friends. Friends are going to be always coming to you when things are successful. Oh dear, wow life. Wow braba woman calculate we. Ebra na woni hwe no. Ebra na sika bi ani wonsam. Ebra na wontumi nye enyini nko baabi wo nimdie bia mu. Ebra na wontumi enye bibi bia ma wo ho a nipa hu kura wo feel say wo ye nipa no. Onse na nkrofo ma wo nchen. Abusuam mu kura na wo ne nam ho o mfrɛ. Meeting mu oba fine, one ma you are not important there. Asori kura kwa sometimes some ma won tena nim because anim no is for the prominent people. Who kotena chire and type of thing. But niema sha ase sama o kakra na growth kakra no. You see how humanity is trying to welcome you, humanity is trying to appreciate you, and they are becoming closer to you, and they are getting closer to you to be friends. Be watchful of that. It's, you know, one thing personally I've read and I've seen and say most successful people have less friends. They have less group of people they call friends. You know why they do that? Because the more smaller the group of people around them, the easier they can reason, the easier they can fish out problems, the easier they can be able to progress and build on things. The more friends you have, the more distraction you have. We ha na tam kranka odebe ye bibi no now we have frewa babesim now we in problem aba, and then they are all coming to get something or interact with you on something. Obibeka senti namfufuo enya namfufuo no mo boy, but let me tell you this. We have three categories of friends. In life, we have three groups of friends. One, friends are maybe categorize them as leaves, right? You know, maybe who in the category of leaves. Say, do you see what or leaves? So. San nkrofono. Se bibi tuwa. And I say, san nkrofono, they are there, first and foremost, they are there for what they are looking for. Until you be all you are down for because on himself frewan in sabekam enya bibi wo. Obi wo you are down for because wo na wo de won krata eye niema ma no. Ama na nya mfaso. Obi wo you are down for because o de won krata eye adwuma. Enu ntira. Eti eda sa relationship no mu ebete no. Oni ni hwiye biem anase obenya de ohwe free wo wie no. That's it. Oh. Eda obenya sa de ohwe free wo no mu awie no. Oni ni twa kan biem. Okay? So that is one category of friends that we need to be very careful with. The second group of people we call friends, you know. I categorize them as you can say branches on a tree. They are branches on a tree. And I say, the branches are one. Some they stick a little bit and see how things will go. I say sometimes no, but they have their motive because branches be no leaves. It will more internal motives, reason why I'm about change. But one person instantly. So they are rolling with you in kakra. I say, Bibi kakra ba no more try say they are going to be there for you, but in reality, no, they are doing it with for their own motive, so that at the end of the day, no, omunya the omu we are no match one. Those are the categories that those people are classified them as the branch type of friends. And then the last group of friendship, no, sometimes there are few people that are between that group of friendship. Only the root friends. Root friends, no, they are the die-hard people. Sani pano here be and free won change. Sani pano enye deɛ ɛwɔ ho enye osika bi enye obi bibia ɛyɛ nkrɔfo a they love you for who you are, and they are willing to support you with or without progress. Some nkrɔfo no so endorse the root friends no ɛyɛ ketewa bi. Obi wɔ it could even be your mom and dad. Obi wɔ betumi ayɛ ukunu ana oyere. Obi wɔ kra betumi ayɛ nipa baako bi out of the lot of people that you call as friends no. Betumi ayɛ nipa baako mienu bi. And was or and as a friendship level no the mouth. It's in unyini cut down the number of people you call as friends. Limit your friendship if you want to see growth. Now, the advantage of having enemies or people who do not like you is this. Minim say, and obia onim so bim pena asem no. Ukwa baby na nipa no ba you are calculated. And amontuo mu no unim say, some microphones are always willing to see you fall. So you are pushing yourself. Pushing not negatively, but you are pushing yourself positively in the sense that, oh, bon homo den se debi ombe hu no. Omo hu se ho atete. It is a school be na and I say personal learning be na wasa usua. You are pushing yourself to learn that. Say career growth and as a business be na person say business no. Oh, bon homo den asuasua niema wo hu in such a way say pese wenim begu ase because they are your enemies. So that is why enemies are like GPS in life. They are guiding you. They be and because of say you are very calculated. It be bibia na we are auto bu ye ni ye to me planning ye to me ye in such a way so when him engu ase because who want a time for them. So the more enemies you have, the more careful you are in life. But because at the end of the day, no, whenever you want to go to some place, you know, say those people are going to be looking out and watching you. But if you have so many friends that you classify as friends now, because if you say, oh, you're not for or the ombe can be amount. But in reality, no, bisa who say, why not one more be drink and ensue and answer anoma if in enough of ne time for while beno. No. Obi or time would the at the park right bound and you push it away because why do you know on pay. But for people that you call as friends, and are people that you dedicate yourself and you think that they are your friends, those are the people who will kill you. Those are the people who look for your retrogression. It wasn't your enemies, it was those friends. Because behind the scene, they fall into that three category of friendship. Either they are the leaves friends, they are either the stem friends, or few of them are the root friends. It is a person unyini ewo bibibia uye mua. Penkrofwa and amengo yourself in an area unkrofwa, people will not just praise you for you to think that you are doing right, because painful can be said, say your body will achieve in the sense say if you think you have so many people, you have so many friends who like you, and therefore you are very comfortable, that is a problem. But your enemies, because you know, say they are always on the watch for you, you are very calculated, and therefore you do things in a very strategic way. It's yanano. In your career growth, if you want to be successful in things you are doing, can be said. deɛ di kan adeɛ betumi ama wɔyɛ successful sɛ watu kwan akɔ baabi anaasɛ wɔbɛpie baabi a efi koro a wofiri mu anaasɛ country koro a wowɔ mu anaasɛ nipa a ɔbɛba abɛsua no they have a great impact in your life because sɛ wobɛsua obi a ɔnyɛ career yɛka no sɛ vision focused a wɔpɛ sɛ wɔtu mpɔn wɔ abrabɔ mu a da biara da wo a waba abɛsua no you are going to be diminished. You know why? Because wo dan no ɛna nam sɛ wo dan no nti no deɛ ɔno no yɛ no ɛno bia na ɔbɛyɛ advice sɛ ɔbɛyɛ sɛ wokɔ ho biribi kora na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔpushi wo ho a ɛnam sɛ bia wonya hoɔden no ɛnte wo ho firi saa nipa no ho nti no woka kyerɛ no pɛ na ɔma wo na ɔbu wabɛm because ɔno amu no ɔntumi mpushi ne ho nti watch where your surroundings, where you find yourself. That's one thing. And also watch nkurɔfoɔ a wo ne wɔn di nkɔmmɔ. Yɛmu bebree, we spend so much time on things that are not giving us any results. And so you're sorry be a complaint, sir. Now so bisa ho say, go to your WhatsApp phone also. Oh, now look at what is your call log for just the month of July. Share how long you have been on the phone with people for the month of July. Now bisa ho say, how long have you also sat down to think about a bibi a bit nyabua brabo? Utumi jina phone so for 1 hour. But then say ma book second kaya within 5-10 minutes now we don't go. Then you are sleeping. You have a problem. And then it's going to impact your success. What you say? Another level. What are you doing for yourself? Yemubino, we have so much time at our disposal. BBB a basic we has a positive and negative. COVID by we didn't like it because be a free and we don't like that. But this is an opportunity. It's also be a coin for people who have the opportunity to work remote, to work remote. Be to me pick a juma me because a juma be work 12 o'clock. Now why your meetings every 1 o'clock? No, it will be to me the bear me and I mean Sabia Kahua and kun and yes so much so that you can grow in your finance. But Yemubino, instead of taking time to have a plan for ourselves, we decide to dedicate time on things that at the end of the day, it's not giving us any passive results. And then for you to grow, look at all these avenues. And last but not least, send me can first, the people you mingle with impact your life. If, for example, if like Penkrofua or Mupe, maybe I'm funny say drinking is smoking. Min penchre or more ibia Yako program now wajene ni beer ba kumbi and I say Wako program ajene wine ba kumbi. No. I'm talking about people who are intoxicated. They love to what do you call it, drink. Go and be their friends. You will end up being like them in a very short period of time because they can impact you. That is the same way. They like to mingle with omunsu omadi. Look at this. Seka tofoma. Yemfaka kuma emme. Think about this very well. Say yemfani say sa small cars here. Ebi Ghana from sa cars no picanto ni nasifwe. So being an accident cra. We don't bring a smaller car like a Toyota Camry or a Toyota Corolla or any car of that nature. No, we end up bringing bigger cars or cars that have the energy to pull it. That means if you want to be successful in life now, beginning of your day, you need a pull to get you out there. And therefore, you need people who have similar mindset. You need people who can see tomorrow from today to have discussion with. And on crowd can be beach and I do a good idea. Any a convention a befast way, any into an among 1 or 2 be and only make your way, then see how we can progress. This is why successful people intentionally go and live in a place where successful people are, So the environment now mu crampono will impact their mind, because bibi bia uye bia no start in your mind. And as I told you, our next section of discussion is going to talk about how nature and our mind control what we do, and only a different segment. Stay tuned for more episodes coming. But most importantly, or the phobia were free over sika bebre say bia Elon Musk. Now we're free one mark baby away. Now kwakwatina nkrofo bi mu a their thinking process is not like him. Now he will not live there, because they will impact him in one way or the other. Enti no hwe nkrofo no mo didi nkomo no ye. Nkrofo no mo share ideas. And then most importantly, idea bi wo ha maninka witrim. Enye nkrofo nyina na o share idea kira mo a ebi kura mo positive thought around it. Say ye ka sunsum nsama obi wo kura ka de ni kire na wo akwa akoda no wonim so aka kire no because o ya adamfo obi kwa akoda no sa idea no na o de afa ba bi kura because say wo pese o ye yi eni obi ya ma ya ye nyina egu ha na say ye nye we ya o de o pese wanya idea bi o pese we successful eni e be he eno na Ghana for sometimes you mu be friend pull him down syndrome, because at the end of the day no, we are not focusing beyond what it is. Ain't no and then no, all these things impact how you are being successful. But if you take some of this precautionary process and then you invest time in yourself, why not? Bibi be anywhere want to be here. What I say, bibi be anywhere want to be. You can do everything that anybody is doing. I always talk about this what do you call it? This guy, DoorDash guy, very young guy. At the end of year, extraordinary. He just find the problem. Say, then now be a sorry. Now or call be a McDonald's, Burger King, or call hako tona diani. Then now on your platform be between all the restaurants at one section. Send your hotels now on one section, and I say your airlines on one section. Now on board any delivery process. This young guy started that idea. And then Yamiadum, Mark Zuckerberg, and people saw the need for that. They invested in it. And then DoorDash deliver pharmacy in Yemen. To me, what done Yamakra on DoorDash website. Now Omababe deliver. They haven't done anything extraordinary. You can do the same thing. But the reason why you're successful is number one, who need plan. You just say things with your mouth, you don't execute it. Okay, say obey your way since January. You are on you can say WhatsApp talking about other people. Now wow plan refi. So whatever you say, back it up with implementation, back it up with something, back it up with BB to make a move. And once again, the only time you are failed in life is when you don't start. What started BB na you have not failed. What started BB na anko year you have not failed. America or manya united team those in America and the America here example. Omu said they will go to the space in 10 years time. If you read what happened, they failed over 20 times, but eventually on the 9th year, no, getting to the 10th year, they were able to get to the space. So consistency and perseverance will give you results, but you have to have a plan. But the near to two another business back also by to me. Why? Because you don't have a plan. And instead of say we focus on kasa bebreno and kasa na ya na everyone when an time for a friend our pekeda when nipa ben na time for a friend na wafa phone da una fufu ya na frel una fufu na spend time with you. And sometimes some of your friends intentionally spend time so you don't do anything. They waste it. Because, and I'm sure you are done for or bound China, so forever you are going to remain on the phone. In some crank, any say, Okano, now could be a conversation. Ubehunu would but I anyone who's what Dihuna Kaupesa, the fruit trip. And it comes back to what I was saying at the end. Say, plan to have more enemies. And yes, enemies say, okay, I know I sell it to be said, we are me time for you. No. This is what it is. when you push yourself to some level, one of no be end up dropping. Omwa who push it up now, they are not willing to go on that level with you. No, ubehu say no munyina. It ubehu na onye wadam for be. Ubehu na no drop it. Then they become your enemies, and therefore no more. Oh, as soon as you read it, there be no ya madam for basisi amenene nkasa be. Omwa fall off. No, they become your enemy, and then you start moving up and up. Because for you to progress in life, you need to have less load around you. Plane are yen through echo bay. There's no way a plane be overweight because a be pulling it down. So too much friends creates an unnecessary overload process. What you say? So you need to be able to be calculated on those things. And most importantly, we are make a plan to execute it. Why? Na so we sa na na ebeboa ma the opposite we no aye. You can do everything. Everything in this world is possible as long as you make a decision to move around with it. Tiana no you're spending money you be jamu na you sanso atwaso on a next segment. But remember, obia enyo, you are the cause of your own failure. You are the cause of your own success. And you are the cause of sometimes your own problems. And you know, instead of us casting blame on our growth and why we are not progressing in life, you take you a step back. Never year no plan ben ye tutu akwan. The failure ye, young failure, a kwan ben so na fire, a kwan ben so na ka say fa. Na ye changes where you brabo. That will help. But one thing I've realized about young before any Ghana for especially, we like to cast blame. Everything is about no, I'm not the cause of the problem. No. Every day is about someone who made us not to be able to get to where we are. But you have forgotten, say, you control you. And therefore, so be wasting with time. You have the potential to just back off from that process. Inti, na your page, but na share, na invite one for and I say other people to also watch. We will be coming to you with different type of discussions. The discussions can be spiritual, it can be physical, it can be education, it can be politics, it can be a whole lot of stuff. We will discuss with you, and sometimes if you want to join the show or the program, we will do our best to invite you on. The time for this type of discussions, most of the time will be in the evening segment around 5:30, 6 p.m. And then we will have conversation because and knowledge is not what you have in your mind only. Knowledge is something you share, and then you also get input from other people to pick up. Na ye jamu munkai se Lollycash na eboye chido, and Lollycash app ya descendiska both in the US, Hanum, in Canada, and at the same time, we can send it to Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, many other countries. Now the Lollycash dance on say in technology is built into understand your process in terms of the transfer that you want to do. And in our next segment, you better dedicate some time actually to why Lollycash is different. Why some features what Lollycash are different from other money transfers. But on top of that, there is no money transfer in this current dispensation. Rate higher than Lollycash. Just tag us on our page. Say, look, these people have higher rate than you. Not tag your rate in comparison. And now I know say July 2060, your rate per dollar 15 cedis and 50 cents per $1. And so who will be more than that we will try to match you. It's no yedamase for mumre and more time. And once again, continuing to share our page. Our page is Your Knowledge, Your Power, and Your Growth. And visit our page. And also, if you have any questions, suggestions, feel free to share with us. And so, it's yebedamase. Na ye free mun yebesan so amamu yen Lollycash advert and I say yen commercial na chese ya me ya aduma yebesan so any mu ahia in just about a day or two we'll have another discussion on something else. Yedo ase se utie he yakramu
akuntanio ko boga one na Mr. Vafa bag kuntabia ma and what the shop to mu
me di sika ni nyina egu Lollycash account no so.
oh ye jude
Me be spread mo mamusro. Me be anya afa na me ha me $100 bebre egu me bag mu na yakobisa me sika me de koye den ma load ni nyina egu me Lollycash account ni mu.
That's right.
Enti se me ba be di dwuma bia wo hanom a me tua free mu straight.
Hey, baby, a Lollycash app nedru no.
na chere say wo dollars no egu wallet mu enso otwa de wa Ghana harmu a ense se besides
Sa pepepe. Ti se me kwa brochira me sika ni nyina no me load gu me Lollycash account no so. Abrochira baby a me wo bia no ade bia me pe bia me timi to na app no a convert sika no akọ country ni sika no so na me de adu me dwuma.
Inti America, Canada, and Europe countries na Lollycash app no so no. Sa
app na ngasa be convert akọ say American dollar, say Canadian dollar, say India for sika e bia app no convert mami. Enti transaction is simple kra.
Lollycash app no eye guy pa akont na etisika no etem sa no entetew
Debi Lollycash account there yentew say de ebi no ye no ulo dia twumu a bibia ni mu no ne ati bibi kakra mi be wie no ma send bia ba mu na me dia kontan so dia akọ account mu ama no.
thank you.
akont hon ma inkin ko ho enti obia and download the Lollycash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store number start and send sika e mama busua for mo na fonom e wa mo no ne da bia Lollycash
24/7 send sika. Abna good news we abo.
Enu nti wunye ntu kwan na na.
She enu kra na ebe ma kwantu no aye simple kra.
Sa
Ani wonim na me hwehwe app bi a ebetumi amama send you sika straight into wallet. Abra even wo momo wallet ne krampo anya adwuma.
okay.
Na sounds ye fast. Na eye available ewe nkro bi te se Canada, India, UK and Ghana hampo. Wonim se de be ya metumi asend you sika semtu kwan na.
Na me ni account or bank bi eye. Me momo no so nya adwuma o.
hwe sister dia konta e pa kire nyina ne say with Lollycash app no say wo momo ana wo bank account say wo ndi bie emu bia mpo no wo betumi asend sika asa receive sika from Ghana ha to amonone simple
Lollycash.
ane Lollycash eye secure and convenient e wo QR code e do tumi use e de send sika abra ehu hia say afna be ka obi phone numbers any bank account number bia wo tumi so e send sika from Lollycash account e de call bank account bia mu e wo bia safna be bia
Akonta udi fuda se pa. Wo man cheche na simple kra ma me.
master dia de no
Amfa.
enti obia and download the Lollycash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store number start and send sika e mama busua for mo na fonom e wa mo no ne da bia
Na mo spell mami
LOLLICASH.
Lollycash
24/7 send sika.
akuntanio ko boga one na Mr. Vafa bag kuntabia ma and what the shop to mu
Me di sika ni nyina egu Lollycash account no so.
oh ye jude
Me be spread mo mamusro. Me be anya afa na me ha me $100 bebre egu me bag mu na yakobisa me sika me de koye den ma load ni nyina egu me Lollycash account ni mu.
That's right.
Enti se me ba be di dwuma bia wo hanom a me tua free mu straight.
Hey, baby, a Lollycash app nedru no.
na chere say wo dollars no egu wallet mu enso otwa de wa Ghana harmu a ense se besides
Sa pepepe. Ti se me kwa brochira me sika ni nyina no me load gu me Lollycash account no so. Abrochira baby a me wo bia no ade bia me pe bia me timi to na app no a convert sika no akɔ country ni sika no so na me de adi me dwuma
Inti America, Canada, and Europe countries na Lollycash app no was no. Sa
app na ngasa be convert akɔ say American dollar, say Canadian dollar, say India for sika ebia app no convert mami. Enti transaction is simple kra.
Lollycash app no guy pa. Account na sika no term sa no entetew.
Debi Lollycash account there. Ye ntew say de ebi no ye no. Ulo di atwumu a bibia animu no ne ati bibi kakra. Me be wie no ma send bi aba mu na me de akonta so de akon account mu ama no.
Thank you.
Account hold my ink in ko. Eti obia and download the Lollycash app no e wo Google ana Apple Store. Number start and send sika and mama busha for mo na for no e wa mo no ne bia Lollycash
24/7 send sika.